To the abuse, this door is open to you. Come on in, come on in, come on in, come on in. The God in us recognizes the God in you, the God in you. Whether you're black or white or gay or straight, Christian, Buddhist or Jew, this door is open.
Good morning, Claremont Center for Spiritual Living. How are you this morning? Good, good. For some reason, we have a very wide center aisle. So for those of you that like to walk 3 at a time down the sidewalk, today's your day. Welcome to my aisle. Yeah, you like to twirl. That'll work too, yes. I'm Reverend Tracy and delighted to have you here with us this morning. Excuse me, I want to wave to everybody online. Everybody wave. They can see you. Thank you for joining us. What we know is that in consciousness, there is only one community, one place where we all gather together in an attention of love and support and great joy. So welcome and thank you all for being here today. Our practitioner today is Reverend Drack. He's available for prayer after service, as your practitioners are always available to you. Just remind yourself now and again when you're pondering a decision or dealing with something unexpected or just happy with life, reach out to your practitioners. Let them know the truth with you and let yourself be supported by this spiritual teaching so that it's not just a Sunday morning thing, not that we don't have fun, but it really is meant to be your life. So they're really good at that. So do take advantage of your practitioner's ability to pray with you and know the truth. We have some great music this morning. We've got Jeff over there on his magic keyboard. And we welcome Rick Dale of the magnificent voice. So we're ready to get started. So let's begin by getting centered. And the first step is always to turn off your cell phones. I don't know why, but they seem to be a distraction in life. Have you noticed? So take a moment, clear your mind. Wherever you are seated, just make yourself at home. And if you're comfortable, close your eyes and let the sound of the bowl take you within. For that tone is one that brings us to the sanctuary of the heart, that place of love and peace and deep joy where our truth resides. And in this place, we can always remember that you and I and Spirit are all one.
So we breathe deeply and exhale. And we breathe in again, even deeper. And we exhale. Deeply integrating the truth of who we are with each breath, each moment, recognizing that we are all open to what life offers us, to the possibilities infinite and multiple in their many expressions, knowing that we too share the same common thread with all that is, and we are open to all that is, because how can we not be? We are that. We are that, all of those possibilities. So we settle into the truth of who we are with a relaxed curiosity. Our consciousness is open and receptive to the truth of who we all are in this room. That we are like stardust in the cosmos, twinkling full of possibility. Brighten the horizons of who we are and who others are. We are lights unto our path and unto those of others. We are all that is, everything that is possible. And what a joy that is to know that we contain that within each and every one of us. So we settle in this knowing, and we open ourselves to this truth yet more. And so it is. I got my reading from my favorite guy. His name is Reverend Scott Aubrey. He used to be at Mile High. Now he's retired, but he has this wonderful site where he has tons of amazing quotes and spiritual thoughts and things, and I love going on there. Thanks to Reverend Tracy, I discovered that. She told me about it. This is from one of his talks that he had, and it was notes, and there's only 3 paragraphs that I took from it because it really made me think about today's talk. He calls it Broaden Your Perspective. Broaden your perspective. Broaden your perspective. What are we? Flesh, bone, muscle, skin, appearance? No, we're more than that. This is merely the cloak that covers our own particular heaven of our consciousness. Don't you love that? I'm going to read that again. This is merely the cloak that covers our own particular heaven of our consciousness. We are sparks of life stricken from the one source. We have been inspired into this earth so that we may experience this life fully. We are here to learn, grow, to live. God is individualized in each one of us. There is continually flowing through our being that which is infinite, eternal, pure spirit. All the love, life, beauty, joy, and peace there is, all the inventiveness and creativity, all the music, all of life is right where we are, flowing through us. And then there's Luke 5. I love the way this was put in there. Jesus saw that the disciples were not catching any fish. He walked onto the boat and told Simon to launch out into the deep and let down the nets. Simon said, "Master, we've toiled all night and we haven't caught anything." But he did as he was told, and the nets were so filled with fish that they began to break. They brought so many fish up that they feared their boat would actually sink. Launch out into the deep and let down your nets. Jesus was saying that there is a deep part of ourselves that is eternal. It is part of our immortal soul. And if we yield to this vast part of us, we will live the life abundant.
Come on up, Rick.
How do I follow that?
Just sing. Yes, that's perfect. Thank you.
Tell a joke. 2 religious scientists walk into a bar. Now, my music's better than my jokes, so. We all know, as religious scientists, that we are surrounded by and immersed in an infinite ocean, that deep that Drac was talking about. And in all of it is the beloved. And this is a song about that. It's called Ocean of Love. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. As time passes, like a river, never to return, so do our lives flow on forever. Until we finally learn the source of everything's patiently waiting for her beloved and welcomes us home, home to the ocean of love. your eyes open to the goodness. Never more than now. And your mind reveals the closeness without telling you how. The course of your heart is awaiting direction. So let go and set sail for home, home, to the ocean of love. As deep as you might wish to sink, there is always much more than you think. So surrender to the God who made you. Hold each other. Hold to me. Life is here just for you. And I have made you to be free. And I am that I am in you. I am your source and I am patiently waiting. My beloved, I welcome you home, home to the ocean of love. Home to the ocean of love. Home to the ocean of love.
Oh, you sort of rocked me to sleep there. It's just, I'm on the ocean. Thank you. It was beautiful, just beautiful. So we light our candle today for inclusion. And what does that mean? It means that there's room for all of it. We don't want to be with all of it or with those funny people that drive us crazy. But in love, there's room for all of it. And so our call is always to move forward in and as love. And that's a little bit more about what we're talking about today as well. I start with a quote from Rumi. There it is. This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness, some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all. Treat each guest honorably. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. The title today is Make Welcome. And as hard as it can be sometimes to welcome the things that we'd rather not deal with, the intention is very spiritual. The intention is to understand that the allness of life is for us, even those things which in our human limited perspective we think of as bad or not for us, or we wish it weren't for us, and why me anyway, and etc., etc., etc. We make all of life welcome and understand, as Ernest Holmes tells us, that life is for us. That even the hard things bring something wonderful from us, through us, out into the world and raise us up. We're taught to look beyond appearances, and the appearance can be of destruction or pain or difficulty or stress or just a bad day. And yet the truth is still the truth, and love is still there, and beauty is still present, and peace is still possible. Because all of those things are the divinity within us, the way in which Spirit shows up through and as each one of us. Now, when we know a guest is coming, someone we've maybe invited that we're looking forward to seeing, we prepare, right? I know at my house we tidy up quite a bit. We try to get some of the pet hair off of the furniture, at least. And we set the table, or we put out fresh towels, or we get food ready. And that anticipation of enjoyment is part of this process of preparation, preparing for the guests to arrive. We appreciate what is given, whether it's someone's company, or maybe it's a situation that supports us financially, or maybe it's an opportunity to do something new in the world that we fit and it works for us and we're good at it. And we get something from that. We receive the bounty of life when we make welcome, because when we make welcome, we're in a mindset of appreciation. Ernest Holmes tells us that the great lesson is that life delivers itself into our capacity to receive it. The outpouring from the cosmic horn of plenty can only fill the cup that is lifted up toward it. In other words, we can only receive what we're willing to receive. There may be more, we just don't get it. We don't see it, we don't expect it, or we expect something more limited. Or we don't think that that bounty is for us. Or we've been told that we're not good enough, tall enough, great enough, musical enough to participate in whatever the extravaganza is in front of us. And the truth is, we're always enough in our way. And the way to receive the bounty is to be willing to receive more, which means sometimes letting stuff in the door that we maybe would rather not deal with, because there's something there for us. That's always the question. What's here for me? It's that unexpected guest that we resist, right? It's the disappointment, or it's the argument, or it's the illness, or it's the flood and the fire, or it's the loss and the grief that comes to visit, that we don't want to let in, that we don't want to experience, that we would rather they just go somewhere else. It's that shadow, that shame, that regret that's part of everyone's life that we just as soon skirt around or deflect. And what do we do when those come upon us? You know, we get scared, we get overwhelmed, we get anxious, maybe we get angry, we withdraw, we shut down, we lash out. Anything to defend our limited human perspective of what's here for us. Because if I don't feel safe, I want to protect myself. And if I'm not used to allowing myself to feel what I feel so that it can move through me, see, that's the nice thing about guests. Eventually they leave. Yeah. So if I'm willing to let the sadness overtake me for just a while, or find a way to express my anger that doesn't hurt anybody and get it out of my system, so to speak, I will have space, I will have room to then choose a new response, to choose a step forward, to decide how to integrate all of this into my life for my betterment, for that greater good that we are promised. The thing is, how do you make welcome something that feels so negative, in our opinion? How do we make it welcome and greet it laughing? It's really hard to laugh at something that hurts. And it's not appropriate to laugh at someone who's hurting us. This tends to escalate the issue and is not where we want to go. But to greet laughing is to say, I understand that life contains all of these things, and at my inner core, I live a joyful life. I take delight in what happens. I look for the ways to understand things in a better way, to understand someone else's perspective, to broaden my own idea of what life can be and how I can be in it. If I understand and know myself, I have a little more room to pause and listen or observe and see what shows up beyond that initial appearance, beyond that part of me that wants to run. That's my general thing, is I run. Not so much anymore. It's amazing what therapy can do for you. But see, the thing about, especially the emotional stuff, the thing about feeling, I had a therapist give me a really good visual one time. She says, your feelings are like all that stuff you have crammed in the entry closet. The clothes you don't wear and the extra boots and shoes and the one sock that got lost and all the board games that are stacked on the top shelf that are kind of like crammed in there. And if you open the closet to any feeling at all, chances are the whole thing will come tumbling down on you. And you don't get to pick, right? I'm really happy and all of a sudden I'm crying. Why? Because there's all this unhealed grief behind it. There's all this sense of lost time in a relationship that maybe I'm enjoying now, but maybe for years I didn't. Right there, that emotional body that we are is sort of all of one piece. So it behooves us to allow that to flow through, to welcome the guest in and then let them go right out the back door when they're gone. To spread the table, to welcome whoever's there, to feed them, to respect them, to honor them. Hey, that anger has a source. Hey, that difficult financial situation that made me a little bit anxious and crazy, there's a reason why I feel that way. And you know what? If I give it a little room, what's going to show up? A way forward. A way forward. Henri Nouwen says, true hospitality is welcoming the stranger on her own terms. This kind of hospitality can only be offered by those who found the center of their lives in their own hearts. I don't have room for your nonsense if I haven't healed me. Right? If I have an issue with, loud men. If I don't do something with that, then some of you guys don't have a chance, man. We're not going to have a conversation. But if I've done the work to understand that my fear has a reason and I don't need that anymore and I've let it go and I can listen to you and welcome you, I'm going to learn something. I'm going to be more of who I'm meant to be without that edge of resistance. Because that's really what it boils down to, right? We don't want it, we dig our heels in. All different ways. And it doesn't matter if it's a person, place, or thing. We just stop. Can't make me. I have a dog that does that. Nope, not walking that way. Stop. Fine. Holmes says that we generally seem to resist change, even that which is better for us. We also appear to resist being what we really are. Not that any of us have ever walked around with secrets or posturing as a teenager. Anybody have teenagers in their lives? Yeah. What are they really thinking? Hard to tell. They're showing up for their friends, right? We all learn that behavior. We need to learn carefully and surely to permit ourselves to accept the fuller expression of the mind that is within us, the consciousness that is within us. Against this, there can be no resistance, for in its creative flow through us rests our entire future, the greater person we may be, and the richer life we desire to enjoy. See, when we learn something about consciousness, when we understand that we're part of a whole, and it's very dynamic, and it's not always easy, and it's not always of our apparent choosing, we still have what we need within to move through that or to allow it to flow right on by. Life happens through us. Spiritual expression in the world is us. And so the less constricted we are, the less resistant we are, the fewer walls and dams that we build, air and water will flow freely. And that brings us to our place of sustenance. In other words, when that water flows, we are refreshed. You know after you've had a good cry, you feel better. But you can spend weeks, months, years even, not crying. It's a false sense of control. It's a false way to feel safe, because underneath it all, at some point, the dam is going to break. And so when we move through life, as we move through life with awareness, we have a little more power at our disposal by allowing. That seems counterintuitive, right? Usually power means I have control. How's that working for you? It's not. But if you can allow whatever it is with a sense of curiosity, wonder what this is all about. It's like, or, wow, this doesn't feel really good. It's hard to believe there's something here for me, but there's a part of me that knows there is. I'll be happy when it shows up and lets me know what it is. It's not always smooth, but if we let it, if we allow life to be, we will always come through. The guest that we don't want will always leave. So will the guest we do want. It will come and go, but it will come back, and we'll be equipped to handle it. We'll be able to understand it and each other better. It's about being able to recognize and trust the guidance within. Hey, if I can name the emotion, if I can name the circumstance that's making me crazy, if I can see and recognize what it is that's causing a sense of unease or disturbance in my world, then I'm able to choose how to move forward. I'm not at the mercy of the world and its constant swirl. I'm actually able to make a choice. I'm actually able to listen to my own heart and say, you know what's best for me in this situation? I'm going to take a step back, or I'm going to ask for help, or I'm going to go to prayer, or I'm going to go talk to friends. If I don't do that, what am I likely to do? I'm going to sit at home and play my video games on my phone. And it's not that that's the worst choice, but it's not the most effective. It in and of itself will take me away from being in the world in a way that doesn't nourish me. A break from life is a good thing. Renewal is a good thing. A week away is lovely. But a constant habit of distracting ourselves is not healthy. Remember, it's all of life in a balance, right? So if we remember that we are supplied by something infinite, that infinite ocean you were singing about, Rick, if we remember that all that is good is always present, no matter what else is going on, if we remember that life is for us, then we can also remember that that divinity is within us, which means we are equipped to live our lives uniquely as ourselves. We move better through life when we allow life to move through us. And then I say the quote I already said, which you already heard, about resistance from Ernest Holmes. So just replay that in your mind. We'll move on. All right, so let's go back for a second to this idea of choosing our responses. Here's a little spiritual secret. You can't make the wrong decision. You can't. You can't fall off the spiritual path. There's no place other than the spiritual path. Whatever you choose, whatever step you take, no matter how small, how large, how much you second guess yourself, whatever step you take, whatever movement you accomplish in your mind or in your physical actions, it always moves you forward. Because what happens when you make a choice? Then you understand that direction a little better, and what do? You make a new choice. If you change your mind 3 steps in, okay, let's change our mind. We have the ability to course correct all the time. So you can't do it wrong. So why do we live with regret? Why do we say to ourselves, my life could have been that or this, or I shoulda, or wish I was your age when I learned that, or if I could do it all over again, I'd. We all have the thoughts, but if we live there, if we live in regret, we're not doing ourselves or the world any favors. We're constricting the flow. So when I was younger, let's just say I didn't want to play field hockey in high school. Team sports were not anything I would do. But we always had a dance program. And I loved dance. We had modern, we had a little tap. I went to school in Newport Beach in high school, and I was surrounded by girls that had taken ballet classes since they were like 4. That was not my life. Newport Beach has more doctors living there per capita than anywhere else in California. So the doctors' daughters all took ballet lessons. Not that I'm resentful, I'm sure I'm over it by now. But at the time, it's like, that's not my life. But man, I love to dance. So my PE classes were always dance. And I thought, there's a future in that. Maybe, we'll see. So fast forward to about 6 years ago, and my friend, Reverend Sean from the Whittier Church, her mother started Kindorf Dance Studios. Sean took classes there from the time she was little. She traveled around the world performing. She was a tap dancer. It was one of the forms of dance they taught. Her mother tap dances. Her mother is 80. Her mother still tap dances. And we went to see a performance from the school. So all the little kids from the teeny tiny ones going, here's the 3-year-old dance. I can do that. But when you wear a tutu, anything looks good, right? So we watched all these people, all these kids, and up to adults perform. And then they were doing a tribute to her mom, Nancy. And so they were all out on stage. So Sean was dancing, and Nancy was dancing, and all the teachers who'd all been students at that school for Miss Nancy were out there tapping. And I had this wave of melancholy come over me. It's like, that could have been my life. Sean and I are very similar. We're similar in age. We love the same music. We once pulled up at the Whittier Church to go inside and stayed in our cars. And when we finally got out, we were acknowledging that we were listening to the same Prince song on the radio. We had to let it finish. So here's this woman living my life. Now, mind you, that was her life before she became a minister. But she still teaches dance. So my point is, I felt the loss. I felt the regret. It's like, how come I didn't get to do that? My little girl inside really wanted to be a dancer. And I had to pause and recognize a greater truth, because I can't be 7 again. But what is that greater truth? That my life lives through me uniquely, and that part of me is still part of me. And so I signed up for an adult tap class with Reverend Sean, who still teaches 3 classes a week at the center. And I thought, oh, that's how that works. Nothing's ever wasted, and nothing's ever lost. What has to shift is how we see it, how we are willing to include it, how we are willing to understand that even that was for me. I'm still no good at team sports, but I'll get out on a dance floor, and that serves me now. And that honors that feeling that I thought that I had lost. So we're called to open the door to the unexpected visitor, to that wave of whatever that overcomes us sometimes. We're called to have a sign on our heart that says welcome. Because when we do that, then we're letting in all of these experiences with the understanding that we don't know which one is going to turn the corner for us, which one is going to activate our next best expression. We're just willing to be open to see what happens. because we are able to trust ourselves to move forward in whatever shows up in a way that's supportive and healthy and good for us and good for the people around us. We have to choose to appreciate what each one gives. We have to understand that whatever choice we make, whatever step we take, it's going to show us either what we don't want to be or who we do want to be, or how we don't want to work or how we do want to work. Any choice teaches us something. Any step moves us forward. Nothing happens until something moves. And so we move. We move. Every step is forward. Everything teaches, especially when we pay attention, especially when we move with intent. So I want to close with a quote from Og Mandino. He says, "I will greet this day with love in my heart. And how will I do this? Henceforth, I will look on all things with love and be born again. I will love the sun, for it warms my bones, yet I will love the rain, for it cleanses my spirit. I will love the light, for it shows me the way, yet I will love the darkness, for it shows me the stars. I will welcome happiness as it enlarges my heart, yet I will endure sadness, for it opens my soul. I will acknowledge rewards, for they are my due, yet I will welcome obstacles, for they are my challenge." You know, life is for us, and we're meant to take part in it. And Paulo Coelho says it best: accept what life offers you and try to drink from every cup. All wines should be tasted. Some should only be sipped. But with others, drink the whole bottle. Yeah. Namaste. All right, let's move back into that center place. Shall we take a breath? Close your eyes. And just feel the sense of laughter and lightness that is in this room, that is in our consciousness, that includes our expanded community. For right here where we are, wherever we are, there is life. There is an expression of spirit in, through, and as each one of us. And this energy of life is good and very good and designed to sustain and uplift us, each and every one. There is a place in each of us that knows peace, that knows love, that knows a sense of safety and well-being. There is something in us that calls to grow, to expand, to understand more. And it is from this understanding, this desire to grow, that we move through the world as spiritual beings, allowing ourselves to feel and see and recognize the full gamut of being a part of humanity. And at the same time, remembering that the power of all life is within our own hearts. That the words we speak, the actions we take, the ways in which we touch each other are all meant to be spirit in action, are all meant to move us forward, to connect us one to another. And so from this place of belonging to life, in an ever greater way, I give thanks. I give thanks for the things that seem difficult. I give thanks for what I would prefer to wish away. I give thanks for the joys and the beauty that shows up on my doorstep, expected and unexpected. I give thanks for it all. For in each and every moment of my life, my experience, my heart, my mind, there is only love. There is only the flow of life. There is only good. And as it is true for me, it is true for everyone. Life is for us in all ways and always. And so I am grateful and release my word into law. I know that as I speak into the consciousness of the one mind, it is already done. For truth is already mine. Peace already is in my heart. Joy, beauty, laughter, kindness, all move through me as the spiritual being I am, out into this wonderful, messy, complicated world that we find ourselves in. It is good, for it is truly all God, and so it is. All right, please join me in saying our affirmation, which you'll find in your program. I ask you to repeat after me so our online community can play along with us. Today I breathe in the sweet air of limitless possibilities. My life is made rich as I make life welcome. And so it is. All right, let's have Rick Dale sing us another song.
How do I follow this?
Sing again.
Do y'all remember the world's most interesting man?
No.
Yeah, he was. I think it was for a beer ad or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And once he said, my philosophy of life is this: find that thing in life that you do not do well, and then do not do that thing. And so I can't dance my way out of a paper bag, and I wouldn't try. So I'm going to do a song by a loud man. John Andrasik, better known as Five for Fighting. He does this song that asks the question, what kind of world do you want? And it's called World. Got a package full of wishes, a time machine, a magic wand, a globe made out of gold. No instructions or commandments, laws of gravity or indecisions to uphold. Printed on the box I see, Acme's built a world to be. Take a chance, grab a piece, help me to believe it. What kind of world do you want? Think anything. Let's start at the start. Build a masterpiece. Be careful what you wish for. History starts now. Should there be people or peoples? Money, funny, pedestals for fools who never pay. Raise your army, choose your steeples. Don't be shy, the satellites can look the other way. Lose the earthquakes, keep the faults, fill the ocean without the salt. Let every man own his own hand. Can you dig it, baby? What kind of world do you want? Think anything. Let's start at the start. Build a masterpiece. Be careful what you wish for.
Perfect, perfect. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. All right, so let's take a moment and show our gratitude for this community that we share by offering our offerings, whether they are time, talent, or treasure. If you're here in the room, there's a basket in the back of the room for your envelopes, and if you're online, there's a donate button on our website and in our emails. And what we know is that what we are contributing to is the power and the energy of this philosophy in the world. This way of living, this way of seeing, this way of understanding shows up as us because we are able to come together, because we have this space and this group and the opportunities to share. So thank each other and yourselves for your contributions. And if you will, say our prosperity affirmation with me. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am prosperous now. And that is our truth, yes. All right. Invitations. You are invited to participate in many things here at the center. But let's start with another thank you first. Our flowers today are compliments of Betty Francis. Thank you for beautifying our sanctuary today. You too can sign up to donate flowers. You make the purchase, we order them, you get to take them home. Everybody gets pretty flowers. So thank you so much for playing with us. A couple reminders of what's going on. Wednesday night, of course, we have meditation at 5 in the practitioner room and online. And we have a service here in the chapel at 5:30. This is not your average service. There's no one standing up here talking at you, with you, to you. But there is a presentation, and there's always a conversation. It's always about how spiritual principle applies to our lives. So we have Wednesday night, again, at 5:30 here in this room. Little note, it's still light out. So if you're a person who normally doesn't drive at night, I understand that. We understand that. But you can get here, have a lovely spiritual uplift, and still get home before it gets dark. So this is the time of year to do that. We have a couple classes coming up. We have a pilot class called Discovering Who I Am that Reverend Mary is teaching. It's based on the 7 qualities of spirit, and it is an 8-week class, I believe. And it'll be Sundays after service. So Sundays from 12 to 2, beginning on the 30th of June, which is, next week. Next week. So there's a sign-up sheet in the back. If you'd be so kind to let us know if you would like to attend. It's going to be sort of, a deep dive into each of these qualities like joy and beauty and what makes up our character and how, again, we live that out. The second class will start a couple weeks later on Tuesday nights at 6:30, starting on the 16th of July. It's a Science of Mind accredited class called Spiritual Principles and Practices. It's not principles, because that would be both words together, and you couldn't understand that. But if you separate the principles and then put practices to them, poof, you live a better life. So Tuesdays, starting on the 16th, again, a sign-up sheet in the back with all the details. And we'll start that in just a few weeks. Another new and marvelous thing for the summer, Thursday mornings at 10 o'clock, join our own Brad Weathern for the newly formed writers group. Yeah, we had a couple people attend this last week. Bring your writing, share your writing with other writers. That's it. Doesn't that sound like fun? You have stuff tucked in a drawer somewhere you've not shared with anybody yet, or you've been meaning to, or you're halfway to publishing. This is the place for you. It's just a chance to say and hear out loud what wonderful things you have inside of you, just begging to be expressed.
And it's only $100.
It is not $100, it's free. You do have to talk to Brad, but I think most of you would like that would be okay, right? Right. So bring your writing to share. Join us Thursday mornings here in the chapel at 10 o'clock. And a reminder that in 2 weeks, the Sunday after the 4th of July, on the 7th at 12 noon, we have an Independence Day potluck. So here's the deal. We bring the chicken, you bring everything else. Bring something to share. Anybody do deviled eggs? I'm in. Hint, well, maybe, perhaps. So anyway, just bring something to share. It's been a while since we've all sat down and had a meal together and just kind of schmoozed and had a good time. So do come, and we'll get a flyer out. I don't think we have one just yet, but we'll get a flyer out by next week with a little more information. But basically, it's a picture of a flag that says, bring food, let's come have fun together. Okay, good. A reminder that all of the weekly activities that take place on campus are in the little inserts in your program. Oh, look, we have flyers. Thank you, Susie. Look, there's a flag and details about a potluck. So, we're so efficient. I didn't even catch that. Everything else going on, weekly meetings and things that happen here on campus are on the insert. Take that with you, post it at home, or leave it here. We'll use it again next week. Let's see. Okay, reminder. We're on social media. Some of you are on social media. If those two things get together, we do better. So that means as you are scrolling through, if you're not already, you should be following Claremont Center for Spiritual Living on Facebook, because then you see all the beautiful things that are being posted. Have you seen lately? We have new graphics, new things going on, little sayings, little affirmations, beautiful stuff. Little reminders of who we are, where we are, why not come? Like them, love them, share them, click on them, comment on them. Because every time you engage, the algorithm does magic things and puts us closer to the top of the list for everyone who's on our list and for all your friends. Because you know there are some friends you have that need us. You know they need us badly. Yes. So the more you share, the more you comment, the more people see us, and that's a good thing. All right, I think that's all we have for today. We have coffee and snacks next door after we stand up, move to the sides, and sing a song.
Take a look at the person next to you.